controversy, they would start something if they could. Curse their cuddliness. Here's JR and Comic Book Man with Media News.
Knowledge is power, so in 10 minutes, prepare yourself for mightiness. Media News, episode 151. Broken are my vows.
He's never done any serious comic books. The
James
comic
Bond?
strips.
James Bond?
Marvel did one miniseries.
Didn't
adaptation.
Eclipse or somebody, wasn't there a company back in the day that did some kind of comic booky James Bondy thing?
There's
Well,
strips.
the time has come.
There's strips that have come out. There's strips that have come out in Europe that they've reprinted here. They actually are based on the movies, but not actual books. I've got them up there.
All the folks
You know,
that
they had
do,
James Bond's nephew, Willis.
that do
Willis Bond.
Dark Shadows now and Let Alex Ross
Yeah.
stuff, they can do it.
Well, you know what James Bond says, though.
Well,
Hey, folks, how you doing? Comic Book Man
I've seen
here.
that coming.
Welcome once again to my
I
video.
told you no more chest hits. No more
It's time for what time is it?
it's time for me to catch my breath. Media News.
Brian Urlacher feels.
Media News number 151, and this is an all comic book media news update.
151.
And as always, it's coming to you
I like my
from
rum.
this place, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful downtown Mount Greenwood.
A moment for the Civil War who had fallen on the field of
Alternate Reality, where all new comics are always 15% off every day for everyone.
Always.
Always, you know, and
out
that,
there laying there
that
from the Civil War.
that includes my media comics, Star
Right.
Wars and Star Trek, and you know whatever you want to throw in there, Transformers, GI Joe, all that stuff.
All of them.
Always 15% off every day for everyone. Our first story up is
Always our best story.
and it's always the best story.
Marvel. Do we have Marvel?
There's a sequel that's
Oh,
going to
to
come
what?
out to the Thor movie.
Oh, it's inevitable that there's going to be a sequel
It's
to
a
the
sequel,
Thor movie.
but the man in charge of it will not be
Kenneth Branagh.
Will not be Kenneth Branagh, which I think
No.
Marvel, you're making a big mistake.
no
But
Kenneth Branagh. No,
No
well,
Kenneth
you know
Branagh.
what part of it might be. They might have looked at Iron Man 2 and said, you know, maybe it's not such a bad thing if the guy who did the first one doesn't.
oh
do the
no, I'm
sequel.
sure that things went south with Kenneth and Marvel because when he went on the Craig Ferguson show, he made some disparaging remarks
I
about
heard about
Marvel
that.
and, their,
I-
and their cheapiness.
I haven't seen that, but I heard about that.
So he's moved on. Kenneth has never done a sequel anyway, so maybe he just wants to have that on his resume and move on to other things.
Well,
But-
wait.
do you know
row your
row your boat?
Way back in the video outhouses, if you go digging back, and I'm
you
sure
can. Please do.
I'm sure everybody does.
Now that you're not on Facebook anymore, go and dig through the outhouse a little bit.
When we were first talking about Thor, one of the things I remember we were mentioning is Brandon's probably just doing this so he can have a big budget Hollywood comic book type thing on his resume, you know, just so he shows some verisimilitude.
Yeah,
you know, to his
versatility.
versatility. I mean, because everything else he's done has been pretty
Shakespearean.
Classically minded.
classically minded, or at least upper echelon intellectual stuff. And Thor, obviously, is a very good movie, but Thor obviously is not in that realm.
Actually, the most successful of this year's comic book films worldwide.
This is very good.
believe it or not. Yes.
Very good film.
Yes.
But JR,
we digress.
who, roll.
We back to that
Joel
again.
Schumacher.
Saw Shatner this morning, and
Well, cut it out.
who could direct it? Who are the nominees?
Originally, Marvel was saying that one of the directors from Game of Thrones, who had never done a feature film before, was going to get the nod. Well, the negotiations fell through on that.
Well, that's too bad because I love Game of Thrones.
Well,
I
know
watch
you
it
do.
every week.
I know you do. You watch it because it
Yeah,
cures
right
your
before-
insomnia.
Yes,
I've
it
only seen
does.
the
Puts
first
me
5
right to
minutes of
sleep.
every
Puts me
episode.
right to sleep.
Yeah.
But an unusual choice
Yes.
has been made. Patty Jenkins, who directed a film called Monster with Charlize Theron,
Oh yeah.
who played Eileen Wuornos, who was a serial killer, as you
Okay.
recall. She's got
So Thor will be a serial killer?
no, but it's probably going to be a really serious, dark
Was she
Horrific,
nominated for Academy Award for that?
film. But
Twilight of the Gods. Gods are
yeah.
damn wrong.
yeah, I mean, Brian Kirk, who directed a couple of episodes of Game of Thrones, would have been a good choice because it's in the same.
Did she get nominated for an Academy Award?
She did get nominated for an Academy Award. The film, according to Marvel's head honcho in Movieland, whose name escapes me at the moment,
Yes.
said that this is going to be more than 9 realms. We're going to see. We've already seen 3 of the realms in the first film. We're going to see the other 6
Yes.
in Hulk.
Asgard,
Thor.
Earth, and the realm of the
the
Frost Giants.
Yes, the planet of the coffee
The
shops.
Cross Giants. The Cross Giants?
Yeah, the cross-dressing
The
giants
Frost Giants. Frost.
and the ska-singing
That's what I
midgets.
thought.
It's going to be
Junt,
fabulous.
Juntheim or
That's my skirt.
somethingheim.
So he's going to go through the other remaining worlds of the 9. The film is due to be released July 26th of 2013. 2013.
2013.
So hold your breath.
Afraid we'll all be dead
Okay.
by then.
We got him in, right? Don Payne?
Oh, yeah, Don Payne's writing the sequel. He co-wrote the first film. He's one of the
Okay.
co-writers. He's writing the sequel.
Okay.
So there you go.
Now, after Thor, there's also another sequel coming out,
18
and that, of course,
after Thor.
will be Captain America.
America 2.
Captain America 2. And what's up with that?
Chris Evans said, "Don't hold your breath for that. It won't happen until 2014."
Okay.
Marvel has a docket of other things, including Thor and Avengers and stuff.
Well, yeah.
So it's not coming anytime soon. He is signed for 3 Captain America movies and 3 Avengers movies, by the way.
And the first Avengers movie needs to come out of the box kicking butt.
It better, because if it's anything resembling a disappointment, that's
Yeah.
going to be a hard one for the audience to swallow.
Speaking of the Avengers.
Were we? Yeah, I
yes,
guess we were. I have a
Speaking,
short memory.
speaking of the Avengers, it just wrapped up production as we are taping this right now.
Next on
what's
the
next?
agenda for Marvel,
Marvel?
is Iron Man 3,
Iron Man 3.
which they need to do a little.
Which couldn't be any worse than 2 was.
Well, that's why they need to do a little damage control with 3. It's
Yeah.
going to be released May 3rd of 2013. Directed by Shane Black, who worked with Charles.
Charles. Xavier?
No, our Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, Robert
He's
Downey
worked
Jr.
with him before. Yeah, the film is going to shoot in all places. Wilmington, North Carolina.
I hear lots of films get done in North Carolina. It's cheap there. They have good tax. It's sort of like Chicago. They've got a lot of tax incentives there.
And Marvel and cheap tend to go together, from what we understand.
Talk to
So-
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
If you don't believe us, talk to Kenneth Branagh.
And our
Yes.
final story takes us over to the land of DC Comics.
I was going to say before we get to that.
Before we get to that,
Before we get to that. What the man, our Iron Man, who you
Robert
just
Downey
mentioned,
Jr.,
Robert Downey Jr.
who I couldn't think of.
He's
No,
done now, isn't he? After Iron Man 3, I mean, he signed for 3 Iron Mans and 1 Avengers. It's not like a Chris Evans thing where it's 3 Avengers and 3 Captain Americas.
So one of 2 things is going to have to happen. They're going to have to renegotiate a new contract with him and pay him more money, or recast Iron Man. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, my money's on recasting
There
Iron
you go.
Man.
They haven't had any compulsion about recasting Hulk how many times now?
Yeah, well, what can I tell you?
Well, Robert Downey Jr. is a hard one to replace because he's pretty much etched that role out to be his own at this point.
You get some guy in there who's cheap, and you do a lot of this in the effects department. You'll
A lot
be
of
fine.
sleight of hand. is
You'll
what
be
you're saying?
fine. No, just a lot of whirly twirly vomitorium.
Jangle the
fun
keys.
of
Jangle
yes.
the keys. All right.
Okay, our last story up.
Our
Our last story up. We take a hard right turn into the DC universe, who are actually they're making movies too. And this is an odd one. DC Comics is working with Fox of all
Yeah,
people,
Fox Television.
which I don't understand why Warner's is going to Fox, especially considering all the fun they have with Batman, the Batman TV series,
Well, it might be
and
that
not
this.
getting that thing in to DVD.
It might be that. Oh, that's a whole nother story.
But it's still Fox,
That's a
though.
whole
It's
other
Warner's and Fox.
Be
but they're
that
working.
as it may.
But they're working on a franchise.
This may be a character that DC does not want to do as a feature film through their own production company. Who knows? It's the
Yeah.
Spectre, by the way. If those of
Spectre.
you out there saying, "Get on with it,"
Jim Corrigan,
yeah.
we
It's
assume.
coming to Fox. A pilot has been commissioned. No word yet on who's writing the pilot or directing the pilot, but they're going to be starting working on it. So the Spectre coming to television.
This television series or television
Yep.
made for TV movie.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Pilot.
And that's it. We're
That's it.
done. We're
We're
finished with Rider. We've got no more media news, but you can go to the store's website, check out all the media news that Bo sends me that I post up there. And where's the store's website at?
Don't ask me.
Jim Corrigan News.
www.myalternatereality.com. It's the website that cares about, what? Ice cream sandwiches.
So go to the store's website, check out all the news that Bo sends me that I post up. And until next time, this is the Spectre.
And you throw me in a corner like that.
Dr. Fate.
And
This is Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate saying.
Here's his helmet.
Yeah, saying.
Bye. The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.